Good morning, everyone. Today I would like to talk to you about how things actually get a little bit easier and take a shorter time to do after having multiple kids. I know yesterday I talked to you about how things got harder and took longer, and I didn't want to scare you off if you're thinking about having kids, because there's also a much brighter side to it. Things like your baby crying seem to be shorter the second time around than what they are the first time, because you have another sibling in the house. So for my instance, if Beckham wakes up from a nap, he usually wakes up crying. He's generally happy, but he'll whimper and cry a little bit. If I'm down here starting to take out the trash or something, Boston will go run up and start talking to Beckham for me. It allows me the moment that I need to finish accomplishing the task that I'm doing at hand. And Boston will go up to him and entertain. He usually starts out saying, "Hey buddy, what are you doing?" It's so sweet to watch, and it's part of their bonding experience. Another thing too that has gotten a lot easier is I'm no longer 100% dependent on Brian to do something for me if I need help, because Boston wants to be a big boy and he wants to be a helper. So anytime that we need a diaper, we call on Boston. We say, "Boston, hey, can you go get me a diaper?" And he will go do that, and he's actually taken it upon himself to help out and go throw them away if it's a wet one. Dirty ones we usually take care of ourselves. But Boston is feeling that he's not being left out by including him and little things like that. When we just had Boston, it seemed like we had to entertain him every second of the day. We either had to sit beside him and play with him or talk to him, or he had to be in the same room with us, because if he wasn't, he was crying. That's what babies do. I understand that. Now, since our family is bigger, Boston and Beckham can be in the other room and I can hear him, and Beckham will be in his bouncer and Boston will be in there playing, and Beckham is completely content watching Boston play. He doesn't need mommy right beside him. He is watching him, and Beckham is even to the point where he started to want to try and to demand to get some of Boston's toys. And that's really funny because Beckham is 6 months old and he's wanting to play with a 3-year-old toy. Now, we don't give him small toys or anything where, you know, we still keep safety at hand. But if it's one of his big action figures and there's no small parts that are going to come off of it, we'll let Beckham play with that. And another thing too is Boston is actually teaching Beckham while he plays with them. With Boston the first time around, we had to teach him everything. We had to teach him how to talk and tummy time and all kinds of things. But Boston is helping out with that, because now they can both lay down on the floor on their tummies, and Beckham is completely entertained trying to lift his head up and look at his brother instead of me having to be there with him. And he watches his brother walk and he's trying to get to him. Beckham is actually trying to learn how to crawl right now because he wants to get to Boston. So that level of feeling like we have to entertain the baby all the time, that is gone, and that's been a huge stress relief. So yes, things do get longer and some things do get harder, but a lot of things get easier and it gets a lot more fun. I just wanted you guys to know the brighter side of having multiple kids. It is really a joy, but we wish that we had been a little bit more prepared earlier on about some of the harder things, and we're really relieved to find out that not everything was as hard as it was the first time around, that there is a give and take. Some things are harder, but then the things that were harder the first time are now actually easier because you have more than one child. So tomorrow, come and join me again and I'll discuss something new with you. Until then, bye.